To my sister, Miss Seville, today is December 11th here in St. Petersburg. I am already far north of London, and as I walk in the streets of Petersburg, I feel a cold northern breeze play upon my cheeks, which braces my nerves and fills me with delight. I'm going to the North Pole, Margaret. There the sun is forever visible, just over the horizon. I always dreamt of going there, all my life. I want to sail over the calm sea, and maybe even discover the beauties and wonders there. This expedition has always been a dream of mine. I have read many accounts of various voyages traveling to the North Pacific Ocean. Do you remember our good old Uncle Thomas's library? Ah, yes. It is filled with many accounts of these voyages and discoveries. You ought to know, Margaret, my education was neglected, yet I was passionately fond of reading. These volumes were my studies day and night. I accompanied whale fishers on several expeditions to the North Sea. I voluntarily endured the cold, famine, thirst, and want of sleep. I often worked harder than the common sailors during the day and devoted my nights to the study of mathematics, the theory of medicine, and those branches of physical science from which a naval adventurer might derive the greatest practical. And now, dear Margaret, do I not deserve to accomplish some great purpose in my life? You see how I dream about this expedition, and I will sail to the North Pole. I will live my dream. To Miss Seville, time passes slowly here. It is very cold. I have to tell you something that is very sad, Margaret. I have no friends here. Sure, they are my crew, and we talk, but they are not my friends, and I have no one to share my joys and sadness with. So, I'll just keep on writing to you, Margaret. Well, these are useless complaints. I just need to stop being a baby and stop complaining. Anyway, I'll tell you about my crew. My lieutenant, for instance, is a man of wonderful courage and enterprise. He is an Englishman, and I first became acquainted with him on board a whale vessel. I easily hired him to assist in my enterprise. The master is a person of excellent disposition, integrity, and dauntless courage. I also hired him too. Dear sister, I write a few lines to say I am safe and well on my... Oh, sister, something strange has happened. I need to tell you about this bizarre incident that has occurred. Our ship was stuck in the ice, and as we looked out into the distance, we were shocked. A shape of a man appeared. It was of a gigantic stature, this man. I mean, he was huge, and he was being drawn by his guide dogs. We watched as he traveled north on the ice until we couldn't see him anymore. Far into the distance he went. In the morning, however, as soon as it was light, I went upon the deck and found all the sailors busy on one side of the vessel, apparently talking to someone in the sea.
Come on up! Come on! Here's our captain. He won't allow you to perish on the open sea.
Before I come aboard your vessel, do you have the kindness to inform me whither you are bound? Thank you, kind young gentleman.
I replied that we were on a voyage of discovery to the North Pole. The stranger, however, was so emaciated by fatigue and suffering that when we attempted to carry him upon board, he had fainted. Slowly we nurtured him back to health, but the crew members kept on asking him countless questions.
Why have you come so far by ice in such a strange vehicle?
To seek one who had fled from me.
And did the man whom you pursued travel in the same fashion?
Yes.
Then I fancy we have seen him, for the day before we picked you up we saw some dogs drawing a sledge with a man in it across the ice.
I shooed my crew members away.
Go away, go away.
I have, doubtless, excited your curiosity, as well as that of these good people. But You are too considerate to make inquiries.
Certainly. It would indeed be very impertinent and inhuman in me to trouble you with any inquisitiveness of mine.
And yet you rescued me from a strange and perilous situation. You have benevolently restored me to life.
After a few days, the stranger was much recovered and continually on deck. I feel close to him, and I think I have found a new friend, Margaret. I told him how I would sacrifice everything to the furtherance of my enterprise.
Unhappy man, do you share my madness? Have you drank also of the intoxicating draught? Hear me, let me reveal my tale, and you will dash the cup from your lips.
He was about to tell me his story, but he asked about me first. I told him I longed to find a friend to engage in deep conversations with.
I once had a friend, the most noble of creatures, and am entitled, therefore, to judge respecting friendship. You have hope, and the world before you, and have no cause for despair. But I have lost everything, and cannot begin life anew. I thank you for your sympathy, but it is useless. My fate is nearly fulfilled. I wait but for one event, and then I shall repose in peace. I understand your feeling, but you are mistaken, my friend. If thus you will allow me to name you, nothing can alter my destiny. Listen to my history, and you will perceive how irrevocably it is determined. So, I start my story here, and I was on my way to something else, and then we pan out to you.